them up. There we go. Again. So think if it takes that much, we need to do it more until it doesn't take that much. There we go. Now start approaching him again, like you're a cat about to jump on a mouse. And he should already, you should be able to back him up just by looking at him hard. Guys, if this is your riding horse and this is your everyday horse, you shouldn't have to go bing, bong, boom, boom to get them to do anything. There's nothing in that truck do you have to smash or bang on to get it to work. By the time that you're being aggressive with that truck, there's something wrong with it. Okay? Your daily driver should not be back up. No, click. So with your daily horse, you should just be able, that should be it. So when you're seeing like a lot of action, well, you're seeing action on day one horses or horses that we're trying to change. You think, well, he rides pretty decent. Well, what's the difference between pretty decent and great? So much of it is how soft you can be to get what you want out of them. So a lot of horses, just like all of us, we have more. We have more to give. Nice. Much better. Much better. Walk off again. You're walking. Nice. I love how you paused in between. Walk off again. So one day I might stop him back 2 times, the next day 5 times, the next day 1 time. Like they never know when or where or how. So now, for the first time in their life, they have a reason to pay attention just leading. Well, hell, now you're trying to get their attention while you're leading. It's only going to get better when you're riding. Nice. Okay, now you can go to first grade. Coils in one hand, send them around you. There you go. Put that hand in front of your belly button. There you go. Drive him forward. You want to be back there by the cinch. There you go. All right, so you got to put the coils in your lead hand and I'll get all that rope out in between. There we go. So you see how he's just straight as a board, straight as an arrow? Okay, same thing for you. We'll make an adjustment.
I do too. It's so dizzy. It doesn't take much.
Does everybody see that horse is lunging? Lunging. A lot of horses lunge. The horse is straight as an arrow. Just he's not doing anything to show us that he has a steering wheel.
Bracy face.
You bracy face.
Cool.
So you're gonna hook the other rein up at the same place. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna stand directly in front. We're gonna grab him right here. It's gonna be a small circle. We're gonna point him off. We're gonna use this crop. This crop, you're gonna hold it just like this, and it's gonna mirror his body. Okay. So when we want those shoulders to move, we're gonna go right there. And now we're gonna drive him here. See how I can touch right under that flank until he steps forward? If we can continue to drive him forward past us, there we go. Already he's trying to bring his face towards us. So you see how his neck's starting to bend? He's starting to actually worry what's gonna happen when I get back here by his flank. Switch sides. Right here, all he's got to do is move forward. I'm looking at his flank because I'm trying to drive him forward. Very little to no pressure on his face. So this is exactly what I talk about when I talk about motion over maneuver. Give or go, he says pick one. I can move forward, but you can't touch my face. Or if you touch my face, my feet will stop. So we're saying, no, we need a gas pedal and a steering wheel at the same time. Look at his back feet starting to step under. Switch again. All right, young lady. I didn't do it for you because I didn't think you could do it. As far as how strong you are, powerful you are, just a lot of times if we don't know what we're looking for, that persistence. Where I was just, when he was like being stubborn about it, I just keep tap, 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 tap. If that means 5 or 10 or 15, buddy, all you gotta do is take a step and you don't get tapped anymore. You're smart enough to figure that out. So, human beings have a hard time. Human beings have a hard time when we press a button and the button doesn't work, we immediately stop what we're doing. Well, hot diggity dog, we've been showing you all weekend that you stopping what you're doing teaches the horse how to do that. So if you stop what you're doing before they do the thing that you want them to do, you're effectively teaching them how to do something you don't want. So if that horse starts kicking out or crow hopping and we say, oh my gosh, we cropped him, he kicked out, and we take the pressure away, we're effectively teaching him how to kick. If you go to Spain, they're still teaching the horses cabriola, which is rear up and then kick out. How do you think they get them to do that? They show them how to rear up with the crop, and then when they're rearing up, they start tapping on their butt until the horse gets pissed off and throws a kick. Well, they might throw a little dirt kick, and they release that pressure. Well, eventually that turns up where they'll jump straight up in the air and double barrel out. And they do it through the same pressure and release. The difference is they're looking for that. You're not looking for that. Look how much more pliable his face looks. Look at the bend, the C shape in his body. How much easier he's moving. And the other thing, look how my rider is now behind the drive line, driving that horse forward versus trying to hold that horse inward and lead the horse through that circle. You're not leading the horse through the circle, you're trying to drive the horse, because when you're on their saddle, you're driving the horse, you're behind the horse's eye. Whenever you're on their back, you're trying to send that horse forward, you're not leading them through it. So you leading the horse through a lunge circle isn't actively helping you get better under saddle. Look how the horse already dropped his head. Oh my goodness. I'll do it for you, no problem. That is so much more of what we want to see. The first time she did it, he was square and rigid through the body. Look at him dropping his head. He's feeling that adrenaline dump. Do you feel the difference there? That's what we want to see. We want to see that softness. Even the best neck reining horse in the world, I want to see that softness, because neck reining goes out of the window when the horse gets pissed off. How many great neck reining horses have you seen when they get pissed off? You go for a ride, start bucking and holding on. The horse needs the left and right so that you can take their face and their butt from them whenever you want. Very good work. You can flag them if you like. You can throw me that crop. Oh, almost. That's okay. She can. I don't think he's going to do anything. There you go, just straight to his face. Step to your right. What? The moron? No. Oh no, the Morab.
The last horse was not.
Oh.
I don't think you talked about this yesterday.
He tried to buck up a little bit.
You talked about crossing over the axis with the flag stick.
Yes. So you want to make sure that that flag stick stays in between you and your horse, so the horse always has a. We go back to that word explosion again. You put that flag on the other side, and you're on this side. Well, where are they going to come? They're going to come to you because they're less afraid of you than they are the flag stick. So you keeping that scary thing between you and them gives them somewhere to move their feet. You start crossing that excess when you start trusting that horse. Good job. All right, we can hop on. Notice how long we spend desensitizing or flexing or spinning on first grade. There's horses that we did first grade. They were like, go this way, go that way. Okay, next thing. And there's some horses we stand, and that's all we do. And then there's some horses that we back up, we go, and they back up, and we don't back them up anymore. And there's other horses that we spend 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes just working on their backup because do whatever your horse sucks at, and you will have a horse that is constantly progressing. Everybody wants to do what they're good at because they don't want that resistance. They don't want discomfort. You do what you're not good at, you're going to grow as a person. So then for me, this horse neck reign's pretty good, moves off the hand pretty good. So then what I want to work on is how soft and easy he is left, right, and get that stiffness and rigidness out of him. First things first, you check the steering wheel, open your hand up to the side, flex into the seam of your jeans in your pocket. Other side. So just flex back and forth until he doesn't want to move his feet. Every time he gives his face, let go before like you see him giving, you let go, and then go back to the other side. Nice, let go, other side. Perfect, let go, other side. There you go. Nice. All he has to do here is flex one time to each side without moving his feet, and you passed. There you go. So just keep flexing back and forth, not even caring if he's moving or not moving. Just care if he gives. There we go. I know a lot of people have been taught flex and hold until they stand still. Well, that does work, or it wouldn't be a program, but on your hotter horses, you'll flex them and until they keep moving. They'll think from then on, anytime you flex, they got to move their feet. Look who it is. Ginger Snap.
Thank you very much.
Did you bring her a frou-frou drink?
I did. Maybe.
There we go.
It's good. It's from the new coffee shop. So.
I'm sure it is.
What's that? Hush. No, not entertaining. Sorry. All right, once you got that, what I want you to do is bring his face towards his butt, and we're going to disengage his hindquarters. There you go. Very nice crossover. Same thing to the other side. All right, ladies, so I realize y'all only been here for a few horses. What are the 3 buttons under saddle? Stop cheating. You get their head where they flex, okay? Once you can get them soft in the face, then you can manipulate their body. The first thing is you got to get that butt. We colt start horses, and we'll show up to places and have a thoroughbred or a warm blood, and they'll have like a 30-minute countdown clock, and we'll show them how to lead, desensitize them, get them under saddle, walk, trot, canter in the 30 minutes. People are kind of mind blown. Then you're like, ma'am, open the gate. Open the gate. Are you crazy? You're going to die. Believe it or not, we don't have a death wish. If we're willing to ride that horse out of the round pen, out and about, it's because that horse said, I'll give you my face and my butt, even if I'm scared, even if I'm going fast. Once you know you have that, you don't have to have anything else. But you got to have that face and that butt. On that big boy that we just rode, that's why we hopped off, because we said, oh, we don't have his face and his butt. Well, why are you driving? Why are you driving if you don't have a steering wheel? So once we have that face and that butt, well, now we can start working. And button number 3 are those shoulders. But before we start asking for his shoulders, we're going to ask you to back up crooked. So circle him around, get him a little bent, lock your inside hand to your knee, and then lean back, take your legs off, and back him up with your outside rein. Inside hand to your knee. Sit back. Back him up with the right rein. Bump, bump, bump. Friction, friction, friction. And release. Again. Quieter. There you go. Again. There you go. Get some friction, get some friction. There we go, and release. Nice. Circle off to the right. Same thing. Nice. And make sure to sit back and kick your heels forward whenever you do that. Nice. Much better. Keep both hands low whenever you are asking him to back. There we go. Look at the level of your hands with a halter, a snaffle, or a basel directly correlates to how low their head is because it's direct contact. Nice. All right, now you can circle around that pole right there, get him bent, and then step to your outside. Take your outside rein and leg off, and you want him moving forward at the same time that he's moving over. Gather up more inside rein. Push him right there. Now step over, take your outside rein and leg. There we go. When you point forward and to the right, it takes the outside rein off and really makes him want to step over. There we go. Nice. If he gets heavy on that inside rein, open and close that inside rein until he wants to keep bent to the inside. What he's wanting to do is he wants to straighten up his head. Your inside rein is not going to allow that to happen. There you go. Now step over. Put that inside rein on his neck. Inside leg on him. Do you see where his neck and his shoulder, that line comes together? That's where you're going to draw that rein to. You're not going to draw it to the saddle towards, there we go, more there. That's it. There we go. Point that right rein forward where he can see it. Extend that right arm. He can't see that right hand. Extend it forward and out here ridiculous. There you go. We're almost as if you're trying to turn to the right, but you're not allowing him to bend to the right. There we go. Much better. Much better. See how he's out of his he can pointing that way and he's trying to get there, but you're not allowing him to take the end back from you. So the only other option is for him to cross over in the front end. There we go. And I want you to suck up more left rein and bring it physically touching his neck. There we go. See how that inside rein is not touching his neck? Touch his neck with that rein. There we go. Nice. Nice. That's good. And release him. All right. Now we're going to do power of the circle. So you're going to speed that up. You're going to look at this pole the whole time. Whenever you're ready, you're going to look up at the steer down there and ride straight to the steer. That inside hand is extended where there's no bend in your elbow. So the only way for him to straighten up is pull your whole body out of the saddle. Yep. Look at that pole the whole time, intensely. Pick it up to a trot. There you go. Make two circles. There's one. Come around again. All right, now when you get around towards me, you're gonna look up at the steer and ride straight to it. Eyes on the steer. Ride, ride, ride. 2 reins and 2 legs on them. Drive, drive, drive. Straight to the steer. Look at the pole. Circle that a time or 2. Look at me down here. Drive straight to me. 2 reins touching his neck. There we go. Look at the pole. There you go. So you're purposefully trying to keep your hands close together whenever you want him tracking straight in between your legs so that you can separate whenever you want a change. Now look up at the steer, ride towards it. If he gets too stiff or too rough, then you could turn around the middle one. Nice. Look to your left. Now look at me. If he cheats you like that, push him outward. So pushing to me, pushing to me, pushing to me. Now look at the pole and turn. So if he's cutting you tight like that, keep driving him past it. Don't turn right on it so he doesn't knock it over. So if you want to push him further away, step to your outside rein, keep driving him forward. Step to your outside stirrup, drive him forward, motion over maneuver. There we go. So as you go down there to that steer, look at the steer, but open that outside leg and rein so he stays further away from the pole. Look at the steer, keep your right hand out to the right leg out to the right. Keep driving to the steer, keep driving to the steer. There you go. Now look at the pole. Nice, much better, much better. Now look at me, keep driving to me. Right rein out to the right leg, there we go. Keep pushing with that inside leg, keep pushing with that inside leg. Keep thumping, keep thumping. Now look at the pole. There we go. It's actively trying to let him know where you want him to go. Nice, nice. All right, guys. A lot of us don't realize that our reins aren't touching that horse's neck, okay? And then a lot of us don't realize that our legs aren't really touching the horse's ribs because we're riding in our stirrups and we have our legs just dangling. And then on top of that, our hands are dangling. So we're riding around like this and kind of like this. It's very easy for that horse to have misdirection in there and kind of get lost and lose their true north, you know, where you're trying to go. I want that wherever I'm looking, that is neutral, that is center. This is the only place that you're comfortable if you're heading the same direction that I'm heading. Well, the way that we do that is close those hands in closer together until instead of seeing this on the horse's neck where there's no touch, okay, if the horse's neck is this skinny, bring your hands that close together until you're physically touching their neck. Well, now that they can feel physical contact, when you do this, it's apparent. It's very obvious. And whether you're neck reining, it's the same thing. There's two reins, two legs. However fat or skinny my horse is, I'm kind of putting my calves on them. And when I make that adjustment, they make it obvious. But so many of us ride our horse like this. Our hands are kind of floating, they're never in the same place. Our legs are kind of floating, they're never in the same place. If your legs are always on their ribs, your legs are always in the same place. If your reins are actively touching, physically touching the horse's neck, your reins are always in the same place. Well, now it becomes very consistent and very obvious when we want them to turn. And the bend really doesn't matter. If we have them bent to the right here, and we got two reins and two legs, bent to the right, and we step off, well then this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna step off with their shoulder. If we have them straight, or we're neck reining them, and we have two reins and two legs, when we step here, they're gonna stay straight, but they're gonna turn in the direction that the door is open. Does that make sense, madam? So watch folks ride. When you start seeing this and you start seeing how horses are acting, you'll start paying attention. What are people doing? And you'll start looking at their legs, you'll start looking at their hands, their seat. So many people, this is our horse here, this pole here. People are riding around like this. And they're riding like they're the passenger. They're not even looking at the road. So they're not looking at the road, they're not looking where we're driving them. Their legs aren't really guiding them, their hands aren't really guiding them, and their head's not guiding them. Well, hell, you put all that together and you got a drunk horse. Or what we start calling misbehaving horse. Oh, the horse is behaving bad. It's not behaving bad, we're not giving any clear instructions. So an exercise like this where we can really hone in, wait a second, I'm really looking where I want to go. Why is my horse not getting me there? Then we can start saying, oh, well, I'm looking here, but my reins aren't really telling the horse where to go. Okay, now my reins are telling the horse where to go. Why is he getting lost or stuck? Oh, put my legs on him. Now we have that horse tracking very true, staying in between our hands and our legs. And I have people tell me, wow, that horse is really good. He really wants to be under you. He'll save you because he tries to get underneath you. Well, that's a horse that has been ridden very consistently. So he thinks his job is to stay right in between your hands and your legs. So that horse, one day you get off balance, he's trying to scoot underneath you because he says, oh, something's off center. Let me get back to neutral. Let me get back to right in between you where I'm comfortable. But it all starts from right here. Something as simple and basic as this, you start looking at the track lines and you start saying, I just want him to go straight from here to there. And you look at the track line that you leave and the track line looks drunk. You know, the track line looks a little off. If nobody's picking on it or asking of it, nobody thinks twice about it. But if you start picking on it, now you can start fixing it. So when you come around here turn around and go the opposite way now. When you go to that barrel, actively try to put your hands closer together where it's touching his neck, and then make sure that your calves are touching him. Bend the knee a little bit and let your calves touch, and drive him straight to that barrel that's in front of you. Nice. Come around there, eyes come up, and you're gonna ride straight to that barrel. Much better. Whenever you ask him to turn, not only take the rein off, but turn your hand pinky outward. Because that's what you did from the ground. There we go. Much better circle. Much better circle. What's the difference? Hand up, hand down, where your hand's at? It matters. If your pinkies are pointed straight up and down like we've been taught in school, that is for a bridle that we're trying to bring the tip of the horse's nose down. Whatever your hands do, that's what your horse's head does. Well, in this halter, there is no leverage. So you doing this is not really helping anything. This halter is built to get that horse's head to go left and right. So the same way we lunge the horse on the ground, we turn our knuckle sideways, now we bring that horse's head up. Now we're really getting the tip of that nose to go where we want. Much, much better. Much more consistent. Turn that pinky out when you want to turn. There you go. All these little success is a lot of small things done right. It's not one big bang or boom or this, that, and other. It's all these little tools and pieces put together. That's how you get the big picture. That's how you get the puzzle to look like something. Is you got to get all these little puzzle pieces in place. And look at the adjustments right away. That horse looks less drunk. Much better. Now ride straight to me, straight to me. You're sitting back. Sit back as you're driving him forward. Sit back as you're driving him forward. And then take your heels off and say ho. There we go. There we go. All right, does that make sense to you? It does. And the difference of your hand straight up or straight down, we've been taught that this is how we ride. But when we ride like this, that's with the assumption that it's a finished horse and that they're in a bridle, that when you do this, you're tipping their nose by how much bend you have here. Well, this bridle is not built for that. This bridle is built for getting left and right. So you turn that hand here and now you open that hand and you are really tipping that nose in the direction that you want. So having your hand up and down here, there's no leverage, there's no shank or curb chain, so you're not really doing anything. You're just keeping your hands closer to his neck, and when you want to turn and you're keeping that rein close to his neck, you're not helping yourself. You want that rein to find separation and him to get that bend. Very similar, that's what we spent 10 minutes working on the ground, is he didn't want to bend to the inside. So we come back and we fix that, and then we ride as identical to our groundwork as we can for that horse to say, oh, okay, I know what you want. Then when you start seeing people that are grabbing and they're picking up a shoulder by picking up that hand high, that's for a shank. That's for the leverage of the shank. Otherwise, I want to keep my hand low and I want to draw his face. If I'm working a snaffle or if I'm working a halter or that basel, I want to draw my hand low as I can get it and drive it straight to the body part that I want to move. If I'm picking my hand up, it's because I have a shank bit, a curb bit, and the higher I pick it up, the more pressure I'm putting on them, the more leverage I'm putting on them, and they want to step away from that leverage. So just because you see somebody ride that way, you got to know what they're looking for from the horse and what tool they're using to get that. Because if you use that with a different tool, you might be saying the opposite of what you want. That time, he looked a lot straighter, his head was lower, and he was given, the circles that you made were a lot more consistent.
Yeah, right's my stronger thing too. So.
All right, well, let's go back to the weak side and see if we can fix that. Just go straight to that steer right now. But make sure both legs and both reins are touching him. Then he's gonna feel so obvious when, I want your belly button, your eyes and nose and everything pointing right towards that steer. Looks pretty straight to me. There we go. Same thing, lock your eyes on something, ride straight to it. And understand, here we have a visual aid in here. In my rodeo pin, in my roping pin, it's a huge pin, and there's nothing in the arena. I have big, huge rodeo light poles, like stadium light poles outside. Well, I'll be flying, galloping that horse around, look over to my right, see the pole that's way beyond where we're gonna ride to, turn and ride straight to that pole. And before we run out of arena, I'll turn my head to the right again and ride straight to that tree that's outside the arena, ride straight to it. And when that horse straightens out and gets good, I'll look over and see that the neighbor's house and ride straight to it. That's gonna get that horse guiding so well. That's gonna get that horse so honest. Much better job. So if you do that, I mean, you can do it in an arena. You can do it in that pasture right here. You can do it anywhere. It's just trying to be as consistent of a rider and leader as you can be, so your horse starts getting accustomed to, okay, that's how we steer. And in the beginning, when I started learning this ideology, it was very weird because I constantly had to tell myself, oh, make sure you're putting your legs on. Oh, make sure you're putting your hands on. Very quickly, it'd be the only way you know how to ride. And immediately, you will hop on horse to horse to horse, and the horse will say, okay, I know what you want, so I'll go with you. So that's the big difference there. Good job. Any questions? So for me, that's the next work for him, is the power of the circle and really getting him guiding true and straight, and that's really gonna help you out a lot. Awesome. Round of applause for this young lady. It's hard.